thepascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? We got some updates, guys, revolving around the Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case. This is very interesting because there has been a lot of people, I would say, pocket watch. They're like pocket watching the Karmelo Anthony family mainly because they have started, or they started a while back, a GiveSendGo account and raised a whole bunch of money. Now, if you don't know what GiveSendGo is basically a crowdsourcing platform where people can raise money for specific things. Like, hey, somebody wants, an artist wants to make a movie and he's trying to raise $10,000 to make a movie. Not saying that that's enough to make a movie, but you get what I'm saying. He'll put something on GiveSendGo. People can help him raise money to get to $10,000, and then he can do his movie. Or an artist of any kind, or someone who needs legal help, like Karmelo Anthony's family. They put together a GiveSendGo account. People like Kyle Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny, Derek Chauvin, they have used this platform for this very reason, to raise money for legal representation. And the reason why I mention those names is because those names are extremely polarizing, and they had hugely high profile cases, guys. Those are massive, and they definitely split the country. Some people were on certain guy's side, and some people were against the guy's side. Now, Karmelo Anthony has done the same doggone thing, or at least Karmelo Anthony's family has done the same doggone thing. They have raised, or they put together a GiveSendGo account to raise some money. Now, what we are understanding is that it is made over $500,000, guys, which is massive. But at the same time, we've seen other accounts on Kickstarters or on GoFundMe's where people have raised millions of dollars for their legal representation. So now here's the thing. The world has been pocket watching, or at least a certain corner of the world has been pocket watching the hell out of Karmelo Anthony's family's GoFundMe, or their GiveSendGo account. It's been pretty insane. So much that there's been rumors about them ordering $19,000 worth of DoorDash crap, them buying a house, them buying a new whip for Karmelo with the money that was raised off of GiveSendGo, which all has been debunked. All of it is lies, just so you guys know. And hopefully you guys are coming to this show to get information and facts, not just BS lies, because there's a lot that's being said out here on this platform and many other platforms where it's absolute horse manure. Yeah, I said it. Horse-ish. All right? It's absolute trash. But I digress. People desperately have been pocket watching that GiveSendGo because they feel like these guys, this family, is going to go and do everything they can to con the people. Now, here's the thing. We've even heard from one of the co-founders of the GiveSendGo. He has said in the past that, hey, if there was anything fraudulent, they would have shut down that account with the quickness. The other thing, too, is that at the time of him speaking out about this, the family wasn't even able to touch any of the funds because everything had been put on hold. They hadn't had access to any of the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they raised at that time. And if I'm correct, I think they raised something along the lines of $400,000 something during that time. But now time has gone on. More and more people are catching wind on what has happened here on this particular case. A lot of people believe that Karmelo Anthony may have really been protecting himself, that this may be self-defense. And here it is. If that's their opinion, that's their opinion. Just like it's other people's opinion if he straight up did first degree M. It still needs to be decided in court. And I still will say that until court actually happens. And then when the information comes out, I'm sure it'll be shocking or it won't be shocking. We'll find out once they do go into court. And yeah, I'll be watching the hell out of that when that all goes down. But like I said, because everybody and their mama has been pocket watching the Karmelo Anthony's funds like crazy, they now had to change the breakdown. They had to change their reasons, I guess their bio on what these funds are really going to be for. They had to basically reiterate and make it more specific about what the funds were for. Because in the beginning, I will be real, what Karmelo Anthony's family, whoever put together that GiveSendGo, and whoever said in the bottom the description or the reason for raising this money, it was very vague. Okay, it was definitely legal funds, but then it was kind of like bleh, like anything. It could be for anything, which I think made a lot of people kind of raise an eyebrow. All right, or pump the brakes. Like, wait, what is this money really for? Real talk. What is this money for, man? Because it seems like it's more than just the legals, and it's very vague what you're saying, right? But now they've changed their reason, right? They've changed the bio, or whatever the hell you want to call it, the description, what the purpose of that GiveSendGo is for. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but I do want to share with you guys this article. And again, I think it's best that, well, let's be real. If they're doing anything fraudulent, GiveSendGo, I'm sure, is going to find out, and they're going to shut that mother lover down. But so far, they're not doing anything fraudulent, according to the co-founders of GiveSendGo. Just so you know. And if I'm correct, GiveSendGo, because some people are like, oh, it's because they're making money off this, GiveSendGo. Honestly, from my understanding, GiveSendGo does not make any money. They don't make money off of what is raised on these accounts, so that there isn't a bias, or there isn't a reason for them to have them stay up there because because they have some sort of financial agenda, right? Like they're plotting to get more money. And it's like, we don't agree with this, but keep on coming in with the money because, we get a portion of it. Apparently, GiveSendGo does not make money. They do not profit off of this. So at least the co-founders aren't profiting off of this. So that's something that's very interesting. I just want to point that out, because some people are saying out here, oh yeah, you just want this raised. You want to raise this money because for a fact it's a hot topic. It's making over $515,000 right now, and you get a little piece of that pie. And from what we understand, that is not correct. They don't make money off of this, and we've talked about that before in other conversations, because people be pocket watching this mother loving account. It's insane. So let's get into this. And like I said, shame on them. Okay, I will say this: shame on them if they're using this money for other things outside of, let's say, protection, maybe for paying things for the home that they just moved into. Because I understand that Andrew Anthony, the father, who is the only sole breadwinner, has not been able to work as much, right? If they're going out there and using it for lavish things, spending money on lavish things like cars and going on vacations and stuff like that, then shame on them. And that should not happen. And then, yes, let the GiveSendGo account be shut down. But if it's not that, and they're literally using it specifically for the things that are being listed, and those things that are listed, as long as they're not outlandish, this should be okay. So again, I say, let the people breathe and let them see their kid do whatever he needs to do inside of court, whether or not we think he's innocent or guilty. But I digress. So here's what accused Karmelo Anthony's family plans to do with the $515,000 raised following questions about their luxurious house that they just apparently got. Now, let me just say this too. The goal now for them is to get to $600,000. I won't be surprised if they get there, but at the same time, they have raised the number every single time every single time it gets to a certain goal, they keep pushing, moving the needle. Like I said, I want to show you. All right. See right here, it says $516,000. So it went up $1,000 more since this reporting. Okay. And now their goal is $600,000. Now, I'm just mentioning it to you guys because I think that's very interesting. take that as you will. At some point, there's got to be a cap, right? Maybe they'll stop at $1 million. I don't know. But for sure, hopefully they are really using this money specifically for his legal funds. But let's get into this article. So their plans are to use at least some of the $515,000 from the fundraising campaign on living expenses after this attack, has become a huge high profile conversation throughout the streets. Most of the money will go to the 17-year-old's legal defense fund, because let's be real, if they got the best lawyer and legal defense money can buy, then yeah, a lot of that money is going to be bleeding into his legal team, I would assume. And I hope that stays true. So this is what Wells, Jacob Wells, the co-founder of GiveSendGo, said. All right. He says they've been very clear that the vast bulk of this money is going to be used for Karmelo's legal defense. They've indicated that some of it will be used to provide them some security, some much needed security, he added. Now, again, like I said, there's been a lot of craziness going on both sides of this case. The Metcalf family has been swatted a multitude of times. The Karmelo Anthony family has been dealing with a lot of people going up to their homes and messing with them. Now they've moved apparently to a whole new undisclosed location. So hopefully that problem has stopped. But again, in the very beginning, they were dealing with a lot of BS for sure. All right. It says, Wells says some of the funds will be going toward paying for a quote unquote secure location for the family to live, which is apparently where they have moved to, if I'm correct. I could be absolutely wrong, but from my understanding, Karmelo Anthony has been moved to an undisclosed location, and maybe they're with him or they've moved separately to some other place. Because let's be real, maybe they believe that by separating Karmelo from the family won't get hit with won't be the brunt of these unwarranted attacks. Let's be real. Leave the families alone. Like I've said before, both families, the Metcalfs and the Anthonys, real talk. But donations on GiveSendGo, a platform similar to GoFundMe, has reached, now we've just saw it a second ago, more than $515,000 for sure, by today, all right, and have continued climbing even after his bond was lowered from $1 million to $250,000. And I know that has really angered a lot of people, all right? And sorry, guys, it is what it is. I can't control it. Y'all can't control it. What was decided was decided. It is what it is. All right. But questions emerged after it was reported the family was living in a $900,000 rental home in an exclusive gated community, along with flashy rides in the driveway. Now, we've already talked about this. They were renting this house. They were living in this house. Now, with the rides, they already had those rides before this tragedy happened, before this crime went down. So just so that y'all know, so that you guys are savvy to all that, just to kind of put that all to bed, those rides, they already had that prior to the attacks, just so you guys know. All right. Now, Wells, the co-founder of GiveSendGo, said he's spoken directly with the Anthony family to address these concerns, because, of course, it has been quite the topic. Like I said, people pocket watching like a mug. And I understand to a certain extent. If you feel some type of way about this, I get it. But when people are making rumors and making up lies with nothing to back it up, it's wrong. And also, this particular co-founder has been on a multitude of interviews and has spoken out and basically said, guys, you have the information wrong. Just so you know, you have the information wrong. They have not touched the money at the time when these rumors first started. They haven't touched the money, the new whips, the house. That was all in their possession way before this crime even happened, and all that. And everyone needs to chill. I get the concern. I get the frustration, but everyone does need to chill. All right. So he did address these concerns to the Anthony family, prompting them to update their fundraiser description to clearly explain where the money was going. Because let's be real, I don't blame people side-eyeing. What was said in the description was not great. It was very vague, guys. It was extremely vague. Then here's the other piece, and we're going to look at that description, I promise you guys, because it's a big update. So it says, GiveSendGo also sent an email to donors, okay? Donors were receiving emails explaining where the funds were headed. They even went out of their way to send a follow-up email. Hey, thank you so much for your donations. By the way, the money is going to be going to this, this, and this. We understand your concerns. We just want to let you know where that money be going. Now, what he said is 0 people responded saying I want my money back. That's what Wells said. Because clearly people who are donating feel some type of way, are viscerally, emotionally attached to this case and feel some type of way about it. Of course, there have been people out here that are donating and saying terrible things, extremely racist things, extremely hate-filled type of rhetoric, which I am not cool with. And apparently, Wells, the co-founder of GiveSendGo, is not a fan of either, because he's like, I'm not here for the hate, but this is the problem of creating a platform where people have the right to raise money. It is a double-edged sword when it comes to that. But nonetheless, people are not responding to him being like, give me my money back, right? Wells said the family would continue to pay the $3,500 a month rent for the home in the gated community. So they're not only paying the rent over at the home where they previously were staying at in that $900,000 home, but they're also going to be paying for another spot. So I can see them saying we could use that a little bit of scratch because we need the help to pay for both places. I don't know, but that is interesting. Now, and we already know what he's in trouble for and the time he could be possibly looking for and all that stuff. But here's something that's very interesting. Like I just mentioned, it went to $516,313. So that's a whole lot of quiche. And they have moved, because before, it was, from last time I checked, it was like $500,000 that they were going for. And clearly they surpassed that number. So they raised the number to $600,000. That's a lot of money. Okay. Whole lot of money. Now, this is created by the Anthony family. This is what they're saying. So, help with the fund. Here's in the description, which has completely changed. Before, it was like 3 sentences, if I remember correctly. It wasn't much. But now, and still people are putting in things, which we'll take a look at a couple of those. Okay? But here it is. Support the Anthony family. We are grateful for your support during this incredibly difficult time for Karmelo Anthony and his family. This fundraiser has been established to provide comprehensive assistance to the Anthony family as they navigate the many challenges surrounding Karmelo's case. Purpose of the fund. While legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make it clear that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. The funds raised will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have emerged as a result of this situation, including, but not limited to, the safe relocation of the Anthony family due to escalating threats to their safety and well-being, as well as basic living costs, transportation, counseling, and other security measures. Okay, now, and I know some people are going to be highlighting and looking at transportation like, well, you going to buy new whips? No. I don't think that's that. Okay, I hope it's not that. I will say that. But as far as living expenses, living costs, and all that, I could see them taking some of the money for those kinds of things, especially and hopefully only if Anthony, the father, Andrew Anthony, is not working. If he's not working right now, how are they going to pay the bills? So that money, I can see them using some of that money to take care of those basic living costs, right? Food, electric, some of maybe the rent and all that. And if they are paying for rent at another space and they're doing rent at this new space, that can get really hefty. But that's just what it is. Okay. Counseling can be expensive as well. If it's not covered by if you don't have any type of health insurance that's covering it and all that as well. And then other security measures. Yeah. If you're getting threats, I can see them paying a little bit of money to make sure that they have the proper type of security so they don't get messed with. All right. But let's continue on. We ask for your continued prayers, support, and solidarity. Your contribution not only helps protect and stabilize the family, but also serves as a powerful message of community care and resistance in the face of injustice. Thank you for standing with the Anthonys. Now, instantly I go, injustice. Well, maybe injustice of being harassed and getting hate mail and people knocking on your door and getting doxxed and all that stuff. I can see that. But injustice on what happened with Karmelo, that is still up in the air. That is still up for grabs. And you also got to remember, and we got to say this, you got to remember they're going to believe their kid. There is a possibility, I hate to say it, but there is a possibility that maybe Karmelo Anthony most definitely M'd this kid. Without question, just not self-defense or anything. Let's just say that. But then he suddenly says it's self-defense. Let's just say that. He goes to his parents and he says the same thing. What do you think the parents are going to do? They're going to believe their kid, right? Instantly, you're going to be team my kid because that's my flesh and blood, right? So again, it's very interesting nonetheless that they would say face of injustice. I don't know if it's injustice or not. Okay, so don't at me. I'm just giving you guys the news. But I do think it's very interesting that they would say that unless they're talking about how they're getting escalating threats and their safety and well-being is hanging at a balance in a way, right? But they drastically changed their description. Before, it was literally like 3 sentences, like I said, if I remember correctly. So again, this is very interesting, and I get why they did this, because people be pocket watching like a mug, all right? And people mad that they raised this kind of money. Again, they went on a platform. That platform allowed them to raise this money. So I guess it is what it is, right? But like I said, we got to let him duke it out with the law in court, right? But let's take a look at this. Somebody just donated, said, "Dear Karmelo and family, I hope you're finding the love and support you need in your community and beyond. Please know that many of us white people care and support you too. This is the 3rd time I have given." Wow. She gave, this person gave $200 this time. Diggity damn. All right. And I'm hoping that this never goes to trial. But if it does, that the jury will recognize that this was clearly self-defense, a best wishes and prayers heart, right? Here's another one, sending prayers. Another one will continue to support, God willing. Other people, donating $100 to $50. Peace, love, and the power to persevere upon you. Okay. Hoping this pays for a good defense. Stay strong. We're not going to let them lynch you because they made. I think they say they made you or whatever. We protecting you. I mean, like I said, this is so far from what I'm seeing. See, another person did it twice. So again, this is interesting. Okay. So I've been donating weekly. It's a small amount, but I hope it helps. I believe in the law that states you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I hope justice prevails and Karmelo is not denied his, I think she says, his due process under the law equal justice for Karmelo. I will continue to donate. And that person, anonymous giver, gave $5. But again, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people. And again, I've seen other people say some wild stuff like, this is going to, we're starting a militia. I've already heard people talk about that like ad nauseum as well. And I'm going to be real. I mean, people are going to write what they want to write. If they say something that is, disrespectful or racist and all that stuff, that's what comes out of their mouth. And unfortunately, that is just part of the freedom of speech part of the thing. Now, I do think that when it comes to a GiveSendGo or any of those types of platforms, I feel like they can actually put a filter so that if there are rude comments, racially charged comments, that those kind of things can be cut out. Maybe the donation goes through, but what they said is maybe, cut out or put, deleted or blocked. And maybe they say, you can turn to them and basically say in a response email, basically saying like, you have more, you can please, retype your comment, but please do not use derogatory terms, racially charged terms, and all that. But underneath this, it's been very heavily charged nonetheless. But anyway, guys, all right, when it comes to this, I say this. The clarification is nice, but I wish that they did the clarification a long ass time ago. I will say that. But at the same time, it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with all this. But like I said, at the very beginning, it would have been nice for them to say what these funds were for, so that people weren't pocket watching, people weren't watching every single move that they make, or people weren't creating more lies to make the Anthony family look like a bunch of con artists, which is really, really sad about this whole thing. I am still on the side of let this kid walk into court and let him have his day in court, because I do believe that that is his right as an American citizen, whether I agree with what he did or not. What happened here is terrible. He should not have done what he did. He did that. There's no denying it. But now the question is it really self-defense or no? That's something that's going to be decided in a courtroom, and we'll see what happens. Now, I already know some people are trying to turn it around, basically saying, oh, he's going to be found not guilty because of how the political climate is out here in this world and all that. I don't know. I can't say that because I can't predict the future. And I'm not the jury. I'm not the judge. And I'm not his legal team. And I'm not the prosecutors. It all depends on how they present their arguments. And if they can present their argument, at least for the Karmelo Anthony side, if his defense can actually present a solid argument, then this is going to be an interesting trial. But if they can't, then that's on them. And it'll be up to the jury to give him guilty or not guilty in first degree M. So again, we will see what happens here. But this is very interesting about these funds, and that those funds are going up, y'all. And I think that the numbers are going to keep going up. I think they're going to get past, they're going to get to 1 million. From my understanding, they're going to get to 1 million. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. Tell me what your thoughts are. Real talk. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. But anyway, time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.